Okay, we are live. Welcome everyone to this live coding session. We're super excited to bring actually one exciting month coding session, and we're doing this basically like every month with great topics, great and awesome team member, and yeah, I think this time is all about 7702. So before kind of like I'm starting to get some slide shared here, you guys want to quickly introduce yourself? Because this is one of the first live coding session that we're doing all together, and I'm so excited that we're doing this together here.
Yeah, sure, Francesco. Hey, everyone. My name is Shabazz. I lead the developer relations team for MetaMask SDK. And so excited to see you guys here. And let's build something with MMSDK and as with the topic 7702.
Nice.
That's wonderful. So, hi everyone. I'm Ayush. I think this is my second live coding session with the developer community. So, I lead the developer Delegation Toolkit, and we'll be going through how you can use Delegation Toolkit to support 7.0.2, how it powers the extension as well. So, quite exciting things
Exciting.
ahead.
Yeah, I mean, 772 has been kind of like, all over the radar since different kind of months, has been kind of like really hyped up. And no, I mean, it's bringing kind of something more concrete. A live coding session. We're actually building something together from scratch. We're showing out actually how to leverage, and we're giving some context around 772. I think it's super important. And I think like for everyone in listening here, even if you're like listening is to like this live stream afterwards, always feel free to ask question. We have a chat going on. Our DMs are always open. And yeah, I would say let's get it started. So what are we actually like talking about? We will kind of like start with some colors. We'll give you some context about what is actually like EIP 7702, why it's so debated, how granular we will go, and we'll get a bit like deep on the technical side. Then we will actually speak about, on the MetaMask side, how today MetaMask is supporting 7702 from the developer standpoint, from the dApp standpoint, and this is actually like super exciting. And then we actually like deep down on actually the MetaMask SDK. I don't know how many of you guys, and feel free to write in the chat if you tested out everything around SDK. But we are kind of like building a strong, rebuilding all the strong docs is actually quite exciting. So this third section is all about programmatically via MetaMask SDK. And then we will actually like finish up before our MMA around the delegation toolkit. So if you guys actually build, look at Shintaka in the house. Welcome Shintaka in the live stream. And Shintaka did with us a bunch of actually like delegation toolkit things, and we're super exciting and looking forward to actually like meet you soon in some conference. And we will actually speak about delegation toolkit. How is this supported around 7702? Okay, I would say like without kind of like further ado, let's start. And I will kind of give you guys the floor, but always feel free to ask us questions. We will ask ourselves questions also to give some context. And I don't know, Shabazz or Ayush, if you want to share your screen, what is for you easier? And we're just getting started here.
Yeah, I think before we even start, it's good to know how we came to the journey of Sense and Zero Two. So I just want to
Yeah.
ask the first question to Shabazz and Francesco, what was the first wallet? Like it was an embedded wallet, external wallet, and how was your experience using that wallet?
Hmm, interesting. Maybe I'll take the first one and then for obvious reason, Francesco maybe addressing the second part of it. But I think for me, it started with embedded wallet, specifically with Magic Link, Magic Link's embedded wallet, because before that, prior to that, I was working mainly with the authentication related stuff, right? And then I'd get into the Web3 space, and that was so cool that like just with social logins, one could have the wallet, and that was interacting with Web3. And then I think the implied external wallet as per se, because that does not have the custodiality in any sense, right? So the first non-custodial wallet, I would say, I think the go-to would have been the MetaMask for me. I still use the same one, even though like there were some hiccups to understand and try like why it is there, but I still continue to use MetaMask. And the first one is Magic's.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think I mean I we debate a lot 7702 also like pre Pectra. But one of my first experience was actually with MetaMask when actually ends on I revoke access to something like 25 dApps in a row with revoke cache, and was the first time that actually 7702 deployed was deployed on I think it was Gnosis through MetaMask, and I saw how powerful this was in terms of also usability, because actually like not just developer could revoke access to multiple dApps, but I also like it opened my mind in terms of like what other usability feature we can build on top to make user life easier. So I think that was kind of like my really granular touch and practical touch with 7702, and it opened my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can agree that everyone's first wallet was more or less like MetaMask when they are
MetaMask.
using one extension, right? Like, so that's also something cool. So
What about
we
you,
we all,
Ayush?
Oh yeah,
mine
we
was from
cannot only
MetaMask
ask
as well.
questions here.
Mine was MetaMask back in the 2018. Well, I was like when Polygon was Matic and they were sponsoring hackathons. So that was my first experience with like MetaMask wallet,
Nice.
which
Nice,
I have lost
nice.
the seed phrase to that though.
That's why
So the
delegation will be actually a good idea. Having a delegation rights to, but yeah.
Yeah, that's funny, right? So so
yeah, I
we
think
all know like different we have used like different kind of wallets, and there might be some like kind of issues that you might have faced, like you have to approve your transaction couple of times when you're swapping. You need to do the approval first and then like sending another transaction for swap or bridging. And we have also seen like when sometimes you're doing the bridging as well, right? Like you have to do three transactions, do one transaction for approval, second transaction destination chain as well, and third from the where you are from bridging from. So we all are saying like there are like multiple transitions you want to do, and then we came to like 4337 era, like where we could batch the transactions and everything, right? So how
so.
was your experience using that, Shabazz?
And I think that was very not so streamlined across the EVM network. Like there was, I think that's the initial stage that the account abstraction was a thing. People were able to do a lot of batch transactions, gasless transactions, but still it lagged much of the support from the ecosystem. So I would rather ask back to you, like, when you see about that feature of ERC, 4437, right? So, like, what are the drawbacks that you saw there? What and how 7702 came into existence? What problem 4337 had, right? The previous ERC, and what this is fixing, and how everyone is adopting this.
Yeah. So I think the major drawback was like you had to deploy your like smart account on chain like in the before doing the first transaction or doing the first transaction itself, which costed you the more money, right? Because it's basically deploying a smart contract, which will be your account. So that was one thing. The second drawback was also that since like you have like two accounts, you have an signer account and you have a smart account on chain, you have to send the funds to the basically smart account on chain. So it's like maintaining having like two kind of you can say accounts where you have funds in the EOA as well, and you have funds in the smart account as well. And I think like that was also like one of the I would say struggle for people to understand, because we already seen like Web3 is already a lot of intimating for new users, and then saying that okay, this is a signer wallet, there is a smart account wallet. It's already confusing, and that's what 7sensitive is solving, right? Like by having a new transaction type where you can upgrade your EOS to smart accounts.
Yeah,
Agree.
and that's great because in this call that we'll see like how exactly this can be done with MetaMask extension, as well as through the through the SDK via the codes. So lot more things coming up. But can you add more things on EIP 7702? Like what exactly this transaction type is, right? And how this works, and basically what's the use case of it in short?
Yeah. So basically, EIP Sentinel-2 adds a new transaction type, which is like transaction type 4, where you can submit the authorization list to the chain. So what does it mean is that you can set the code for your wallet to mimic certain kind of smart contract implementation. So let's say like there is like a MetaMask Smart Account that deployed on chain, and now I'm basically sending Sensen02 transaction on chain saying that, hey, I want to set my EOA address code to like this implementation of smart contract, which is my MetaMask Smart Account. So next time, like when I want to do a transaction, the EVM can see if there is a code set. It can also use the logic of the smart account to execute the transaction. So that's what it's doing. Like there is no deployment of a contract over there, which basically kind of saves money because you can upgrade your EOA to smart account by just sending 0 address. So for that, like you only need 21,000 gas, which is very cheap than deploying a contract itself.
Yeah, that's correct. It's cheap. I mean, gas, it's not costing you much for gas. You remember the
Yeah.
intimidating it used to be when you were using the Ethereum previously. Thank God, like Ethereum's prices are the gas prices are very down, very less compared to the initial one.
Oh yeah,
I think you
I was
talked
so
about.
surprised.
Mhm.
Sorry. No, I was
Yeah,
super surprised about it. Like last week, I did like one transaction was kind of like super minimal on mainnet. I was like, oh, that's actually like interesting how. And I think like we're also like going in the direction, looking at what updates are coming, where actually things are getting interesting. And I think also we have bunch. I mean, bunch. Couple of question here. You touched a bit on delegation toolkit here. Ayush, like we'll see how to we have with Ethereum, we have MetaMask Flask to 7702 delegation, and so we
Uh,
get some spoiler here.
I'm sorry to disappoint, but we won't be seeing. So what? So what happens in MetaMask Flask is that we have disabled the delegation, so you cannot basically create delegation. This was done for the security purposes. So, for instance, if you create a delegation in MetaMask Flask and you don't add any caveat enforcer, which means like the dApp can have the full access to your wallet and can do anything on your behalf, and we don't want that. That was the main reason that we have like disabled in the MetaMask Flask and the MetaMask production wallet. And
oh,
but
so much spoilers. We want to decode most of the things that you said in this plain in English, sentence. What are the delegations? What are the, caveat enforcers? And we'll talk more if we have time in the DTK session later on. But this was a good question. I think this is what has been asked in community as well. We have seen these questions coming in. So let's see how it goes. But I'll come back on the previous question and when you were explaining about the EUAs and the smart account and what exactly it does, so can does the EUAs, like all EUAs are qualified to upgrade to a smart account, or how does that look? Because you know I talked about embedded wallet. I mentioned one product, but there are many in the market, right? Web3 or Privy, Dynamic, Magic, and many more. But these are embedded wallets, right? These are also for someone seeing it. These are also in EOA. Can those EOAs can be transferred to smart accounts, or is it just the external wallets? And how is the scene for the other external wallets?
I think any wallet can be upgraded to EUA, like from EUA to smart account wallet. The only thing that needs to be care is like they need to add a RPC method and expose it, which is like sign authorization. So if they have like exposed the sign authorization method, like you can basically use the VM to like get the signature for authorization and submit it on chain. So unless like the provider or the wallet has like we talked about different embedded wallet providers, right? Like Privy, Web3 or Dynamic. So if they have added the support for that RPC method, you can basically sign the authorization and upgrade the account. If they have not, then there is no way we can do, unless like there is like certain hacks that you can do, but it requires a lot of I can say encoding. You need to basically create an authorization list, then do the RLP encoding, and then if they support the each sign RPC method, you can basically get the signature. But this is a very lengthy way to do it, and each sign was basically deprecated from one of the RPC method because it just uses the hex data like what you are signing and does not show anything meaningful. So it you like the hackers and everyone used to like do the phishing attack and like send this data to be signed, and they can basically exploit your wallet. So that's why it was deprecated. So most of the wallets and providers don't support it. But if they do, you can do this way as well.
Thanks for addressing this. And I think going forward to the next segment where we talk and see how we do it at MetaMask Extension, how the EOS can be, um, converted to a smart account and how can be upgraded. So I think I would like to share my screen and then just walk through the folks on how this is done easily. And also it has the option to basically uh, upgrade it on your end. So I think if you're logged in, probably yes. So I'm connected to Sepolia. As far as it's not mainnet, I'm fine. So first thing here, if you're into extension, you just toggle here and just click on the account details. And if you see this, it has this like switch to smart account. And this is exactly what you can do it from your extension if you want to support the the EOS to smart account. And as you can see, I have not switched it here because I wanted to do it programmatically, but you can always feel free to upgrade it. So what's happening here, Ayush? Like if I do switch to a smart account, what exactly the users will see, going forward once they have upgraded to smart account?
So once you are like upgraded, you have like clicked on the switch and you have like confirmed the transaction. It will basically set the code for the MetaMask Smart Account, which is part of like delegation framework. Maybe I'll give you a link. Maybe you can open that so we can like show in detail as well. Just let me find it out in the source.
It's great to see those docs though. Like we are also like working on different kind of refreshing, but we're working a lot around like right now quick starts, tutorials, guides. So if anybody has also like idea what they want to see, please reach out.
So you see, this is the smart contract that we have already deployed on like all of the supported chains. So what will happen is like once you sign the authorization, it will basically set the code to this particular contract deployed on chain. So next time you are doing any kind of transaction, it can like mimic the logic of this. And if you see over here, there will be one function called execute. If you can do Control F, you can find Command F.
Is it here? I cannot see that execute function.
Probably maybe
core. Yeah.
I think also you need to increase the size. Might be quite small.
Oh,
yes.
My bad.
Oh, nice. That's
about
perfect.
This one. So I think here, this is what you're saying. Execute.
Yeah.
Is it this one? Somewhere here. Yeah, this one.
Yes. So basically, once the account is upgraded internally, like we call this function to submit the batch transaction or execute a number of transactions.
Oh, nice. Okay, so this was done, like this can be done through the extension itself. They can upgrade it. They have the same feature. Now their EOS are smart accounts, right? So now we'll see how this can be done with MetaMask SDK. So we have the docs, you can see. This is the SDK that I'm talking about, MetaMask SDK. I think we have already created a repo, which we'll share it later on. For the context of it, this is just a create next app. So we'll be starting from here, which looks like this as when you connect. What we have added is just these two buttons, which will allow you to connect with wallet and then send the batch transaction, which is essentially will trigger the upgrade to smart accounts, hopefully, and then we'll see. So
I like the word hopefully.
This is a live demo, guys.
Demo gods.
Yeah, this is demo, right? So anything,
demo gods,
demo gods should be with us.
So yeah, let's see how far we can go, and then like hopefully the Cursor AI will be jumping in to help most of the things. But if you can see that what we have done is like basically this particular example, this is just create next app. And then what we have added is just two buttons. Right now it's not doing nothing, just console logging the click. And I think we have also added the provider, right, Ayush? So this provider is very straightforward from Wagmi. If you are into Wagmi, this is what you get even if you start from Wagmi Quick Start, right? So right now we don't have anything happening. So first thing first, let's bring the connector from Wagmi. So one thing is that, as you can see, a lot of things happening from here, MetaMask connectors. So one thing I want to address here is that people, because there is something called injected provider, right? So this injected will also have the option to connect with MetaMask, but right now MetaMask supports this upgrade to 7702, and then we'll also use more things with Wagmi so that we can do the batch transaction. But if you do it through injected provider, you will see the other options. Maybe other wallets may not support it, but because that's what Ayush was saying, not all the EOS is compatible as of now, which has the sign authorization. Correct, Ayush?
Yes. Also, there is also one more thing that even though they support, they might have disabled it. For instance, like in MetaMask as like extension, we have disabled it because we don't want anyone to let's say like get authorization to any unauthorized contract, because if you have like signed the authorization to unauthorized contract, it can drain your wallet. And for the security purpose, we have like kind of disable the, like, no one can call the RPC method from external request.
Ah, yes, that's one other reason to do it. Then let's do the MetaMask here. You can do it directly from here, just with function. But I would rather have you, add it as the cursor is suggesting, to have the Infura API key, because this gives you more, flexibility to have, API calls, RPC requests more streamlined, and you will not have the daily rate limiting and much of the good stuff of Infura. Just a plug of Infura, but we'll go ahead and see how that goes, because I think this is what exactly you need to do. Nothing more. Just bring the connectors, add the details. I've already added here. If you've not signed up, just go to developer.metamask.io, create a free account, and then you'll get your one key for you to try it out. And then I think once we are here, everything is configured on the provider side. We just want to go to page and then bring that connect function of Wagmi. So let's use connect, right? And let's see if the AI does it. Yes, it does. Use connect, and we have it. We have the connect function here. What we need to do is we'll just remove the connect, and as you're saying, just for the simplicity, and we are doing exactly the same things, importing the MetaMask connector, passing it to the connector, on the connect function. And let's see how this goes. Oops. Yeah, here you see how we're running the app. So what's missing? So we have MetaMask connector, everything is running. Okay. Can someone spot the issue? Because I don't see any issue. Let me probably a hard refresh.
What is log? Yeah. What is the log saying?
So we're not even having the log as of now.
Demo gods of Friday.
Yeah, see?
Maybe
Maybe
you
we
can
should have
remove
done
the
the live
connector.
stream on Wednesday.
Connector is
Sorry?
already configured, right? So we can remove the connector. That's the default. It should take the MetaMask.
No. It will ask for connector for sure. What's wrong, chat? Okay, it's doing late. So something
It's not
is wrong.
connecting. Maybe
So
you can
maybe the
restart.
Infura.
Infura key
Maybe
might be missing.
Yes, I think that can be one thing. Let me do import and dev. Let me know if my screens are a bit slow to pick up. Okay.
I think
Sorry.
can we check the Infura key? Is it present?
I would need to expose this somewhere.
Maybe it can remove the
Yeah.
Infura API key for time being.
Yeah. Nope. So let's remove this one. This is fine. Should we do just the MetaMask? Strange. Because we have a working code already set up for you. Maybe I want to switch to that so that we save time. But I think once we have this here, right? We didn't do much here. Discard. It just adds more of the things later on, but I just want to see like if it's connected. Okay, and maybe I'll walk you through the steps. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I'll see the code here again. So it's connecting. That's good. What is wrong here?
I think is your wallet already connected? Maybe you have. Can you check if the
No,
is
but
connected is true?
is connected. Should we walk through from here or should we go back? We have time.
Maybe you can try. We can try to debug. We do have like time. We can take
Yeah.
a couple of minutes as well.
Yeah. I think this debugging help also like people see what we're doing.
True.
I mean,
Let's go back from here. Start from the same thing. Okay. So on the provider side, we bring the MetaMask from connector, passing the MetaMask here. Just want to see. I don't know like if this is a good place to see if it's there. Yeah, I see in my screen somewhere. Glad I shared it. Anyway, I
It's
shared
okay.
it.
I think it
Maybe I
was
need
a
to
half.
delete. Yeah. So no worries. I'll share it, but I'll delete it for later use case. So we have it here, and the connector is there.
Then that's right. And then we go to the page.
We go to the page, which is this one,
Yeah. Can you
and
check it's connected first as well?
yeah, it's been there. It's connected. No, I don't think it's here. It's in the user account. So we have use accounts, use connect. What do you want to see? Probably connect with mask. No? Okay, we need to bring this from connector as well. That's good.
My guess
What
is it's
else?
already connected. Hopefully that's the case over there as
Yeah,
well.
maybe let's do is connected. No,
We have not inputted it.
is connected. Okay, finally we have, and then we'll see the address as well if it's connected. Okay. Oh, no, that was not, and I didn't do anything apart from rerunning it, and then we're good. So I think we're back, and now it's connecting. Let's connect, and is not giving you the address because maybe we want to show the address somewhere here. Sorry for deviating, but from here, let's do the address. If it's connected, show the address, right? Straightforward, right? And this is the same address that we have. Okay, so we did the connect, and probably it should go back to disconnect. So maybe we'll add it later on. But for simplicity, we'll just add one button just to disconnect. What do you say? Or we're good on connect.
I think
Aish,
we can
we're good.
add. We are good.
We're good. Okay, no worries. Okay, so first thing first, what we did, right? So initially we tried to do the MetaMask connector. So what we did is imported the MetaMask connector from Wagmi connectors and pass the connectors here. Optionally, you can add the Infura API keys so that you have the good RPC network and you have higher rate limit. Then what we did is we brought the same connectors here. Oh my bad. page, and then we went back to the same function, that connect, and then on click, we are doing the connect, which enable us to connect with the extension. And what we are doing is we also brought the address and is connected so that we can show the data. Once it's here, it's connected, then connected address. So this is MetaMask SDK allows you to connect with your extension. Next thing, I mean, you can add all the good stuff that we already have it in the final example. We'll show you how to disconnect and then, play around with the different options, whether it's connected, what to show, what to hide, and all those stuff. But moving on, what we need to add is the ability to, upgrade your EOA to the smart account, right? So how do we go about that? So there is something called, so let's see how it's done. So it's done using this use send calls. So we'll be using Wagmi's use send call so that we can trigger this thing. So that and on use send call, we'll be using this two multiple calls, like the send batch transactions basically. But these calls will be using these details. And if you're not using the Wagmi hook to do it, you will have to configure most of the things. So reading through the specs of EIP-7702, you'll have to configure the chain ID. You'll have to do this atomic required true and capabilities added here from and whatnot. So this you have to create on your own, right, Ayush? And what this does is that use send calls bring the best of it and just provides the best hook so that it directly works with it, right?
Yeah.
And
So
correct me if I'm wrong, VM also has use send calls, but that
yes.
this is the main difference, that it attach these details with this call, and one has to just figure out the calls, right?
I think the interesting thing to see over here is like why we are using sign calls over here. So as we talked about, a lot of wallets have like disabled like for the dApps to sign authorization or request to sign authorization. This is the way a dApp can request to upgrade the account in MetaMask extension. So whenever you are using the sign calls, you can send a batch of like transactions you want to get it approved. And once you do that on extension, it will check if it's a 5792 sign calls. And if you send calls, it will basically show the user whether they want to upgrade to smart account or not. If they say yes, we basically sign the authorization and submit a batch transaction. And if they say no, then what happens is like we don't upgrade to smart account. Instead, we basically show, if there are like two requests, we show two confirmations lined up for user to be signed. So it's still up to the user whether they want to upgrade or not. Either ways, it won't like fail if the user says they don't want to upgrade. It will just show two different confirmations.
Nice. I think we'll see that process once we code it out and then try it in the example, right? So let's go back to the code. What we want to do is basically just copy that particular step, and then we'll rely on, the cursor AI. And this basically brings the use send calls. And then what you need to do is do the send call as it was mentioned here. And what we need to do is replace the click and then do send calls. And once it's picking up, it's calling to some of the address and then parsing the ethers. Probably I have some funds. This is what we need to do, right? And I think the best part is that you can do bunch of transactions together, right? The batch transactions, and we'll just for simplicity, we'll just replace this to 0, 1. And hopefully this will work. And then we'll have the option which shows how to upgrade. What do you say about it? Will it work? See.
It should work.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Okay. So when you say,
oh wait, what's this?
Okay, it did, but we didn't have the pending and whatnot, what we were seeing it. So let's see what's happening here. Maybe Ayush wanna decode.
Yeah, so if you see like you are first seeing the switching to alert, which is like switching to smart account from the EOA, and you are interacting with the smart account. So once you're like upgrade to like EOA to smart account, you will be basically calling the execute method, which we can see in the like transaction details once like Shabazz has confirmed the transaction. And I think if you scroll down below, you can also see the gas fees and everything.
That's correct. So yeah, so there is still a gas fee when you upgrade from EOA to smart account, but it's compared to the previous, it's minimal, right? So once you have this done, what will happen once we see this to a state which it says is successful or confirmed, right? So remember we had this thing from the accounts detail, which had the option to switch, and now it's telling you to switch back because it says now your account is a smart account. So this is the first step, which allowed basically to upgrade from EOA to smart accounts, basically forcing through the code that upgrade the MetaMask account to the smart account, right? Correct, Ayush?
Yes, it's so
Okay,
funny.
let's do the
Even if you like
yeah.
go to the transaction details, right? You can see like on the Etherscan, you will be able to see the delegated address as well. If you go to
That's
the
correct.
address, your address,
Yes,
you see
and then
delegated
this too.
address, more info
Yes.
in the top near the overview.
Sorry. Yes. Here. No.
Yeah. So so this is basically if you go to the contract, see EIP-7702 stateless delegator. So the one we showed you before.
Yes.
So cool.
So cool. Okay, and let's come back to the example because we just did the first part, which is to upgrade the EOA to the smart account. And let's do the send batch transaction. Hopefully this will go. And clicking on it. So it does say that you have two transactions, and that's why I wanted to include these two calls, right? Because that can show you like what sort of transactions are happening. Again, you're sending this much each because it's clubbing both together, 001 and 01. That's correct. Network fee is negligible. We just do the confirm. I think we're not doing much here, but I would like to show how and what's happening. But as soon as it's pending, it's confirmed. Well, let's go back to the. I think we should switch to the existing one, the code that we played around and had the polished version, which it does not show the whole thing here. So, but the transaction went through. It succeeded. You'll see most of the details. Let me come back and go to the MMSDK final stage. See my changes here, switch, and probably do the localhost. And hopefully once it's live, we'll be able to see much of the details here. And all the UI work is done using AI. So I don't want to take that credit. Not good with AI. Sorry, the CSS. Okay, so again, able to connect. Now it has the disconnect wallet, which I promised that the code has it. Now we are doing is sending these two ETHs, 001 and 00 this ETH to the same address. Then we'll do the send batch transaction, showing the pending state. It goes here, allows you to confirm. It shows the two transactions. You are able to confirm. And once you're confirmed, you'll have the data ID. And what it does is, so sorry of skipping ahead of the thing, because after the use send call, you would have to use something called get call status, but it's very straightforward because when you do the use send call, you get a data ID. And that data ID, you just need to attach it to this get call status, and you'll be able to have this call the status, like checking the status of the transaction. So just for the time, so that we have ample amount of time to do the EDTK. So once you check the status, it says the transaction is confirmed. And when you click on the link, which is here, you see that the transactions are happening, and most of the details that you see is here. And anything you want to highlight here, Ayush, like what we did, how this were able to do it, and what's happening behind the scene.
I think if you can scroll up a bit,
Mhm.
it has not like decoded the method name yet, but this method is basically execute method. I think if you can go to the older transactions, like it will show the one transaction
Correct.
you did
So
before.
yes, let's see that, and probably here, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So if you
decode
see,
input.
we are basically calling here the execute method. If you can switch back, you see the execute method has been called, which is the part of the stateless delegator contract. So that's how we do the 7702 MetaMask extension.
That's wonderful. So anyway, we'll be sharing this code at the end, as well as QR code to scan. But this is what we did. What we just added the MetaMask. I think if I can work very quickly here on what exactly this is doing. It's nothing more. Same codes, same Wagmi, and doing the basic stuff, getting the address, whatnot, and a couple of again AI stuff, doing it's beautiful things. But yeah, sending the calls, these two calls, and then based on the transactions we show the different receipts and what needs to be shown. And it also has the disconnect function. So this is my way. Maybe Ayush, you want to see, because this is what we did, right? We upgraded the EOA to the smart account using the MMSDK code, right? How about now we switch the gear and show how this can be done with DTK and what is there for the DTK.
Yeah, sure.
Sharing the screen.
So while I share my screen, I can maybe also discuss like, oh, I don't get an option to share my screen. Okay, got it finally.
There should
Yeah.
be, oh yeah.
Okay, is it visible? The code is visible, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah, maybe a bit more, like to the command plus, probably we'll have more. Yes, perfect.
Oh, by the way, we have a question here from Santiago. If you want to respond on that, what's the difference between send transaction of Wagmi and use direct multi-call 3 contract directly?
I'm not exactly sure about the multi-3 contract directly, but why we're using the send batch transaction is because in the MetaMask extension, you cannot directly call those. And if you want to upgrade your EOA account to smart account, that's the only way to do it. So we basically, we get the sign calls in the MetaMask extension, we check whether the user has already updated account to smart account or not. If they had like not upgraded to the smart account, we basically show the pop-up to upgrade to smart account. And if they say yes, we upgrade to smart account and do the execute of the batch transaction. If they've already upgraded, we directly execute the batch transaction. So
Nice. Those are the kind of question that definitely like we want in the chat, so feel free to bombard us with spicy questions here. Let me share back your screen here, Ayush. Awesome.
yeah, so I'm not on a multi-screen setup, so I might be switching here just to again getting back to the questions. So
Good.
so yeah, so before we even jump into like why we need to use delegation toolkit, we need to understand that what Shabazz showed was like how you want to upgrade user to 7702 in MetaMask extension, and like that is only limited to MetaMask extension because that's how we support 7702. But Shabazz also asked one of the question, which is a good question, that which kind of EUAs are allowed to upgrade or are supported, right? So there are a lot of dApps who use like embedded wallets like Web3 or PV Dynamic, and if they want to upgrade to their like EUAs to smart account, they can basically use the delegation toolkit for that. So what we can do is we can also like go to the doc. So if you go to the doc for the delegation toolkit, you might be seeing over here the 7 cents to quick start, and we'll be just following the steps over here. There are basically 7 simple steps that you can follow. um, I have basically already set up the Pimlico API key over here. I have already set up the Pimlico API key because we need it for the bundler and FameMaster as well. And I've also set up an account, which is basically a private key. So here we are not integrating like Web3 or Preview or Dynamic because we don't have that much time to go into that. But we'll be basically creating a private key to account in VM and using as an embedded wallet to upgrade it. But the similar steps are to be done for the Web3 or Preview and Dynamic. Maybe you can go to the docs and see how it is done on the Preview, Dynamic, and Web3 auth. So the first thing we need to do is
Sorry
like
to sorry to ask one question, because you mentioned 2 points, like paymaster and bundler, and this was not related to EOA, right? How this got introduced and what are these for users just trying to understand?
So basically, once we are updated into like a smart account, right? Like we want to send the user operation. So an EOA sends a normal transaction, either type 1 or type 2, and it has a separate meme pool. But when we update to smart account, that's a different meme pool for user op. That's why we need a bundler. So instead of sending the transaction via the RPC, we send the transactions using a bundler. And bundler has a separate maintains a separate meme pool of like user op, and then that user ops are by picked up and sent to entry point, and they get executed on chain. So that's why we need the bundler. And one of the core feature of like 4337 in smart accounts was that you can sponsor the gas fees for your user. So that's why we need the paymaster. So if I
Nice.
want
Thanks for
my
addressing.
users to, yeah.
Yeah, let's go and see what's done. And yeah.
So basically we need an account. That's the first thing. So I have already like installed the, you can say, Shabas is good with like tab. I'm not that good.
That you should learn. Yeah, but it's good.
So
So we,
so oh, which branch I
I
am
think
on?
shouldn't you be
Oh,
starting it from the different branch, correct?
yeah, let me change my branch. I'm more of a terminal guy.
Yeah, so we see both the options, graphic user interface and the terminal. So anyone trying out.
So yeah, instead of like having the two buttons deploy now and us read docs button, like we have like three buttons over here: create wallet, send authorization, and send batch transaction. So in the create wallet, what we'll do is we'll use the private key we have in the environment variable and create an VM account. In the send authorization, we'll be sending authorization to on-chain, which will basically set the code for the UA. So we'll be using this code snippet to sign the authorization and then submitting it with the send transaction. So I said like you can batch it together with any kind of transaction you're doing on chain. So for your we'll be sending like zero value ETH to zero address, which is like 0x0000. And once we have done that, we have set the EOA code. What we will be doing is like we will be creating the two MetaMask. We'll be using like two MetaMask smart account API to create the smart account. And over here, we'll be using the implementation stateless 7702 because that's what we have upgraded our account to. And this will not deploy a new account. It will just like be say like an instance that will represent your EOA as a smart account to submit the user op. So once we have like created the smart account, what we'll do is we'll use a bundler client to send the user operation on chain. So now maybe we can go back to the code and see like how we can do it. So for the wallet client, as I said, like we'll be using the private key to account, and we already have a private key in our environment variable. So let's just use. So now we have account over here, and what we'll do is like over here we'll have on click. Okay, next private key is here. Private key to account, VM from account, and we can have it as a hex. So that's it. We will have an account, and maybe we can show it once we have an account over here. We don't want to show our private key, it also won't be possible to show. So if we like
Thanks.
click on the create wallet. It is basically create an account from using the private key. Now consider this as my embedded wallet. It can be like from Web3 or it can be from Privy, from Dynamic or Magic as well. So now that we have account, what we need to do is, if we go back to the quick start, we need to basically sign the authorization. For that, we'll need a wallet client. So in the signed authorization, what we'll do is we'll batch everything together. Okay, it should hold its horses. That's why I don't like cursor autocomplete, because it just mess up with the indentation. So I'll just we'll do a quick check if the account is null. We'll just basically return. We'll create a wallet client, and wallet client will basically take the account, and it will also take we need to pass the chain as well. Let's say we'll create chain Sapolia. We want to do it for Sapolia. You don't need the transport, right? Why do we need a transport?
I think it's mentioned in the quick start as well, like as you can see.
Okay, let's see. So we have the transport as well. We have this. Now what we'll do is like we'll create an authorization, and for that we'll use wallet client dot sign authorization. And for the authorization, we need a few things. We need the account to which we are like for which we are upgrading. We need the contract address as well. So this contract address is like to which like code we want to set, and this will be the strictest delegated address. So to get that address, you can use the delegation toolkit. I have already installed the MetaMask delegation toolkit. You can see the package.json over here. So there is a utility function called get delegated environment. We'll pass the chain ID, which is Sapolia over here. It will give you the environment. It will give the implementations, and in here we can use the I think I just need to confirm it is this one.
Yeah.
This is a map, so it will not give you suggestions, if you can see over here. So yeah, maybe one thing we need to improve in delegation toolkit for better UX. And since we are doing a wait, we also need to make it async. So now you see we do have the authorization over here. Now we need to submit this authorization on chain for to it work. Now how we can do is by sending just a normal transaction. So what I'll do is like I'll have wallet client.send transaction over here. And here like I just want to do it to zero address. And I want to, let's say data should be by default null, and I want to append the authorization list as authorization. So that's it. And let's just do a console log.
Do we need to do data 0x,
I
or
think
that's
it's by default 0x. So even if I pass it, it won't make a difference. Let's see. Yeah, it's
okay?
optional, right? So I'll just open my console as well. I'm not sure if it. Oh, create a wallet. Send authorization. Oh, we have the transaction hash. Let's go to Sapolia scan. We'll see the transaction.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Okay, let's wait for a couple of minutes.
So As I see in the quick start, right? When you're doing the
Yes.
sign authorization, it has something called executor, and in the quick start, it's mentioned executor self. So what's that doing?
So basically, so if you are setting the executor itself, it means that I want to submit the authorization myself. But like for instance, like I want to sign the authorization, but I want you to submit on my behalf. So you can also define that.
Okay, nice.
So let's, if you can go to the VM docs, it's nicely explained over there, and it's also in the EIP. So you can see like authorizations over here, right? Like it's been indexed right now, but we can go to the address and you can see the dedicated address now. So this is the same address to which Shabazz did from the MetaMask extension, right?
Yes, correct.
So now we have delegated. Now we want to create a smart account instance so that we can represent the EOA as a smart account, right? So let's say we want to do one more on click. Is it right? No, it's not. Okay. So we again want to check if the account is null. We want to return. Now we want to create a smart account, right? So we'll create a smart account and we'll do two MetaMask Smart Account. So this two MetaMask Smart Account also has like different kind of implementations like hybrid and multisig. So if you want to not have 7.0 support, and if you want to like have like ERC 4.3.3 support, you can also use like Delegation Toolkit for that. So what does it take? It takes a client. We need to give public client. So let's create a public client as well. Let's say client only. And we want to chain to be chain transport HTTP. The client is done. We want implementation to be the implementation.stateless 7702. We want address. The address of the smart account would be the account address because it doesn't change since we are not deploying a new contract and just like setting the code. The EOA address would be same as the smart account address would be same as like the EOA address. And we want a signatory as well, like who would be responsible for signing the transaction for the smart accounts. That would be account itself, right? So now we have the smart account, you can say instance over here. We can also do the console log and see the address. If you want, it should be the same. The same address, see? So the address has not changed. It's the same address, and we have just now created a smart account that represents the UA. So once we have that, we need to send the user up, right? So for that, we will be needing the bundler client because we cannot use the normal RPCs to send the user operation. So what we'll do is we'll create a bundler client and we will be again like using the VM function for that. I just love VM, like how easy it is, how easy they have made everything for like the dev community.
Indeed.
And
Indeed.
we already, sorry?
Yeah, indeed. I was saying that VM support is crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing how to see Cursor so efficient.
It's not,
Not that.
it's just confusing for me.
Sometimes.
See, I knew it was transfer. It was giving me wrong suggestion. Okay, so we already have it in like .env file. We are using Pimlico, so you can use any like bundler client you want, any paymaster you want. So we'll just do. This is also wrong. It's not bundler URL. It should be the Pimlico. Maybe it does not have the good context yet. Okay. Okay, so we now have the bundler client as well, and there is one thing that you can do is like you can say the same client is a paymaster as well. Since like Pimlico URL can be used for the bundler and paymaster together, I can do this. But like if you are using like some provider or like using a different paymaster service, like you're using bundler from Pimlico and then paymaster from Byconomy, you can also create another like paymaster client using the create paymaster client from VM. But since like I have single URL for both, I'm seeing paymaster is true as well. So now we have the bundler client, and what we want to do is we want to send a best transaction. So we'll do bundler client dot send transaction, send user op, and here we can define the calls. This will also take the list. So it's, you see, like it's similar to like send, like the same property as send calls, like where you can define like multiple calls, and we will need to pass the account as smart account over here. Let's just say I don't have that much money like Shabazz has at the in the testnet as well, so I'll just do the zero address again.
Yeah. Open to
Shabazz
drop.
from the testnet as well.
Yeah. Open to drop more testnet address. Just comment your address. I'll be doing a faucet. I'll be your faucet.
No, why it is not? Oh, yes, I need to do a bit.
Right.
It's smart account is done, and this will give me the user operation hash. Right, it will not give me the transaction operation hash, it will give me user operation hash. So when the user operation is submitted to the on-chain for entry point, it will give the hash for that. Just this should this. Okay, so now we have the user operation hash. We can do this, and this will fail basically. We can try. Obviously it will fail. I know why it will fail, but it's important to know why it will fail first. It's a create wallets and batch operation. That failed, right? Anyone knows why it is failing?
Is it to do with the max fee per gas, or do we need to pass that?
Yeah, it says nonce. I think I submitted that couple of transactions, and this is failing because of nonce. But it should also fail because of gas fees, because normally what we do is like we estimate the gas fees, right? Like, and we also get the gas prices when we are using the type 1 and type 2 transaction. But for the user operation, the bundler can define like what are the gas prices. So we'll be needing the Pimlico client as well to like get those gas prices for Pimlico bundler. So we'll create Pimlico client. We'll create the, we use the same URL, and it should be client. This is from like permissionless SDK directly. If you can see this, you cannot use the same one for like Byconomy or other bundler. Everyone has their own implementation, so please be careful while using different bundler clients. So once you have Pimlico client, we can get the gas prices. Pimlico client got a font operation gas price, right? This is it. So this is basically, if you can see, max fee per gas and max priority fee per gas, depending on the, you can say for the bundler, specific bundler. So now we have this, we have the user operation hash. We can try again.
Hopefully this will go.
It went. But can I use this hash over here? What do you think?
Interesting.
It doesn't work because it's not a transaction hash, it's a user operation hash. So to get the transaction hash, you can again like use the bundler client, or you can use a primitive code. You see user operation receipt, since like since user operation has a different beam pool, so when it's submitted to like on chain, you get the user operation hash. But there are like every transaction is like you can have like multiple transaction and everything. So when transaction is processed, it will have like different hash. So we need to get hash for our transaction, not the user operation. So once you have the transaction receipt, you can say transaction receipt dot receipt, or the best thing is yes. So now we do it, we'll get the transaction hash this time, which we can go on the Etherscan and see supporter scan. Oh, I need to use this. So basically what was happening was I was saying that get user operation receipt and sending the user operation hash. But by the time we are calling this function, the user operation is not yet processed.
Yeah.
So we need to use like wait for user operation. So basically in the background, it will like do the pooling for us. So we don't have to use a pooling mechanism over here.
Hopefully this time it will go through.
It should go through now.
It's taking time, so it will. Yes.
Let's go.
Nice.
You see, now you can see the details. And this will be basically user operation. You can see handle ops. You can also see the details over here.
Okay.
Sender, nuance init code, call data, paymaster data, because we were using a paymaster signature, beneficiary. And that's it. And like we can also show you the final code.
Yes,
Let me.
the good
I should
one with
not
good
reset
UI.
this. I think I should reset this. It doesn't make sense.
Just to give everyone the overview of it, what we basically did. So what we did is we use a private key to create an account, right? And then we created a wallet client, right? That's good.
Yeah. So this is basically wallet creation.
Mhm.
So this will use the private key to create the account. We are getting same address. And since like account does not have any, like you cannot use account to send the transactions on chain, we are using wallet client. So that's why if you see, like we also need to define the chain and the transport method in the wallet client while we are creating it, right? So that's where like you can also like do the signing of the transactions and also like submitting transactions on chain. So when you do like per client dot send transaction, it will do both the things in same call. Otherwise, what will happen is like you will have to call the send transaction separately from the VM
Nice.
if you're using account. So to simplify using the wallet client over here. So we can now sign the authorization, which is already signed, but we can again sign it. It won't fail. It will just override it. And since like we are overriding the same value, the address, delegated address won't change over there. But you might be wondering, like, what if like you want to revert it, like you want to go back from smarter EOA to normal EOA.
Yeah,
You can do that.
like the
What you can do
extension,
is,
right? Do you remember extension has the option to switch it back?
yeah. So you can basically say zero address.
Oh,
That's it.
nice.
So it will set it to like set back to the normal EOA. So this is again like submitted authorization. You can check address true. And now we have, oh, what happened? Did I refresh? Now we'll send the best transaction.
Nice UI.
All cursor. I just gave the cursor that use your UI to build my UI. So it's same.
Wonderful.
So now you can see the transaction of the user up as well over here.
Yeah, awesome. I think we ran over 15 minutes, but I'll just try to recap what we did. So we started off with what's the EIP-7702. Then we did a bunch of QAs and asked about our experience. And then we showed how this can be done with extension, how to upgrade your EOA to smart account. And then we showed how the the upgrading the EOA to a smart account works when you use the MetaMask SDK, and how to do it through Wagmi, use send call. And then at last, Ayush was showcasing how this is done through DTK and also using the MetaMask Smart Account. Maybe Ayush, you want to add more things, or we can open up for Q&A if we have some time.
No, I think you covered it nicely.
Nice, wonderful.
I hope the implementation didn't go for a long time and it was not boring for everyone
Yeah,
to
I
just
think
see.
it was okay. I think at least we were seeing how what's happening on each step. But just so that people know, we have everything here in the code. Probably I'll want to share my screen again and then let everyone see the present, this QR code, right? But, and do we have the ability to show what we want to show, right? Can we? Um, can I share my screen?
Yeah, can you share?
Okay, do we have anyone in the backstage so that they can bring my shared screen to the live stream? If not, I think yes, we have Francesco, and I think we want to show we want to show the QR code so that people can scan and go directly to the repo, and that repo has. Oh yeah, maybe you share a screen. That's nice. This is the one.
Yes.
So yeah, this has all the branch just to see different branches as you were seeing. We had the initial start branch, and then of the MMSDK, and then also the finished product of MMSDK side as well as the DTK side. But yeah, this was wonderful. Thanks, Yush. Thanks, Francesco. Maybe we can address more questions, and then we'll open the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a couple of some also like for people that want to have question, they recheck, right? Like feel free to also like DM us or even ask question on the social ender. Our interns around MetaMask developer are getting more and more kind of like engaging. So always tag us. We're always like very on the ground, and also we're working on more and more like small tutorial, quick starts, especially like on those topics. So that's exciting. And I think I don't know if I'm missing something. What are like if you have also like idea around the type of quick start or vertical of the apps that you want to build, leveraging could be stuff from SDK, Delegation Toolkit, or Embedded Wallet. Like I think our door are really open. And we would love to host more and more this live coding session, maybe also with all the community members, right? So everybody that is building cool stuff, they are building also like they are permanently on chain like us that want to actually like try and break something and think about the demo gods because I think debugging is the best part of this live stream, and I think we should do this stuff more. I definitely like enjoy this, and thanks so much also like for Shabazz Ayush to kind of like building the big coding brains here, because this is something that we definitely need more, and we definitely need more on public, because it's not everyone has this energy to actually like debug online with all the pressure. I will not say how many people are listening to us right now, but a lot of people, and I think this is very cool, and I think a lot of people appreciate your work every day. So thanks so much,
Yeah,
everyone, and
awesome.
yeah, I don't know if you have any closing word for what are we
No, I think
expecting
just want
next.
to add more things on the streaming side. Like if you guys want any specific topics that we want to, solve for you guys, because we'll follow the same journey, what a typical developer would follow. And then we'll go through the same loops and same, pitfalls so that we'll understand the issues. Because as we were going through the examples or the quick start, we also realized a couple of feedback for us as well. And that's a good time so that we can not just look it from our perspective when we are writing docs, but we'll also see it from your perspective when you have, what's missing in that particular thing, what we need to explain more. And I think the stream is a good place where we can start. And I think Ayush and I and others in the development team are super, super eager to do more of the codings. And probably we'll have Francesco in one of the code streaming session. And Francesco will help us, code through the good stuff of what we can do at consensus. So yeah, maybe this is my parting thought that looking forward to more streams. And I hope if you have questions, you'll shoot us. Over to Ayush,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
if you have anything.
I don't have anything specific, but I can give one more spoiler while we are talking about like signing the delegations from like the MetaMask extension. Although that's not possible, but there is something called sense in one file readable permissions through which you can sign the delegations and execute like operation on behalf of user. So more to come on that. So if you have any questions about sense in one file, do reach out to me on Twitter, on Telegram, or in the Telegram group we have. Happy to help you. Maybe you can also drop a link. So uh,
Oh yeah.
just let me quickly grab it.
Developer chat. Yes.
And this is the sense in one quick start on Delegation Toolkit. Maybe you can have a look.
Cool.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, we'll check it out. I'm dropping right now the link, and we're good to go. And for everybody kind of listening, we have this live coding session. We have all the MetaMask community call. These are happening at end of the month, and we're also like bringing some ad hoc cool live stream with high caliber. I think the next one will be all about agency, agentic economies, and AI. And yeah, we have a bunch of like cool guests. But I think my favorite are these kind of like hands-on live coding session. So feel free to get feedback. Thanks so much again, Shabazz and Ayush. Looking forward to see this kind of like happening more and more. And thanks so much, every guys. That you guys are awesome. You dedicate 1 hour plus. I think we're 17 minutes late, and it's really great to see actually like this commitment by everyone listening to us. So thanks so much, everyone, and see you guys.